Alright, what's up everyone, Duquesne23 here, bringing you another Halo 4 custom map, and this one is called Calamity MX, and it is made by ImpROBable and a rabid tourist. Now this uses the race 1.1 game type, and as you could clearly tell, this is on a rock modded map. Normally you aren't able to get this many rocks on there, but of course with the mod you can. I also did a rock modded map on my own map before. It was what is it called, Canyon Raceway. I guess a lot of people use rock mods to be able to do a canyon style, because that is a lot of fun to be able to race through, you know, canyons and a bunch of rocks and things like that. But this map is a motocross track, so remember, whenever you race a motocross track, if you miss one jump or don't do a turn just right, you're not going to be hitting the rest of the jumps, at least on that, you know, one section. The reason why is just because you need to be going full speed in order to hit jumps. That's pretty much with any motocross track that you'll come across. You have to hit the jumps going the full speed, and you know, to be able to make them. So it has a little bit of a challenge there, which I really like that. I love having challenges on my tracks. Another thing that I love is just all the jumps. I'm a big jump person, and especially, you know, with, you know, races and stuff like that. And you know, I was a little bit worried with seeing the MX, because sometimes people make MX tracks that do have jumps, but they aren't very big jumps. But they do a great job on this track to, you know, have a lot of large jumps, so it makes it really, you know, feel like you're flying through the canyon and stuff like that. So you know, I would definitely suggest going to download this track. This, you know, it's just a great track, a lot of fun to play with people. Since it is a rock modded map though, I would suggest not playing it with a full 16 lobby, because there might be some, you know, issues like some lag and stuff, and maybe some frame rate issues. That just happens on the rock modded maps and everything. But you know, I would maybe suggest going about, I know on some of the in the past, like my Canyon Raceway, I've done it with 12 people, and it, you know, didn't have any issues and stuff like that. So I would definitely suggest doing that, which, you know, I'm still every once in a while would have frame rate issues with just the few people that I did it, you know, in this video. But just, you know, taking that into account. But it is a very fun map. Definitely suggest going to download it. The download link will be below in the description. And remember guys, if you want to submit a map for one of these showcases, it doesn't have to be a racetrack, it could be anything. The next map is actually going to be a mini game map that I'm going to be showcasing. But if y'all want to submit a map, just go to GametypePro.com and go to the forums and go to the Xbox 360 section, and you'll see a Halo 4 thing for submission there. But of course, I will provide a link that just goes straight down to, you know, straight to that in the description. And you know, just follow the directions and submit your map there. But yeah, now let's go ahead and go on to the next section that I started last time, where we check out the top downloaded racetrack this week, and you know, we can critique it and hopefully give some helpful tips. Alright, so this is the top downloaded map that was for this week, at least racetrack. And again guys, in case y'all do not know about this, I do not say the name of the track or the creator, just because I don't want people sending messages or anything like that. Because the whole point of this series, I know the people who are making this track probably won't see this video, but the whole point of this series is to help just anyone and everyone out on how to create a good racetrack. So I'm just, you know, throwing out some tips and tricks and everything on here. So let's go ahead and just start critiquing this map a little bit. Off at the start, I do kind of like this graph section. I would have preferred if it wasn't quite like this though. I do like the idea of a gravity section where it lifts you up. Possibly not quite as long, and of course not where you can't actually get over to the rest of the track without jumping off your mongoose. But yeah, I would definitely, you know, shorten it up a little bit. Maybe put a gravity at the very top that pushes you towards the deal, which like pushes you towards the rest of the track. You know, that would actually be pretty interesting. You know, of course, maybe again, don't do it as long as that. Maybe only make it, I don't know, maybe like 15 feet, 10 feet high, something really not that high. But you know, the rest of the track is okay. You know, it's very tight quarters. Again, if you're going to be making a track that's a single wide, do not make the single wide with the barriers on the sides. The reason why is because a lot of times on your mongoose you may clip the barriers, the little railings on the side, and it causes your mongoose to spin out. And people can't really get the feel of they're actually racing if you do it that way. What you want to do is you want to flip those pieces over. That way you have, you know, a nice smooth surface, and you can have a nice little racetrack. It makes it somewhat like a roller coaster track. It just makes it a little bit more difficult, and you don't have to worry about hitting the railings and the barriers on the side. But you know, he actually did a very good job of making this track somewhat smooth. Now there are bumpy parts where, you know, some ramps go up and down and stuff like that. You kind of hit and bump, but he actually made the rest of the track somewhat smooth. So very good job on that. Way to take it, you know, your time and patience. Like I mentioned in the last video, just remember, guys, just take your time and, you know, have a lot of patience and everything for, you know, making your tracks and stuff. But you know, it's overall, you know, not too bad. I don't actually mind. I know some people don't like this. Some people don't like how you have to get off your mongoose in some tracks. But if you do it right, I really don't mind it. I actually kind of enjoy the obstacles of, you know, you're racing and you have to quickly go do something like jump over a railing or a barrier before your mongoose respawns underneath you. So it just adds a little bit of like an obstacle course style track, you know, to your race. But again, at the very end of this track, remember though, guys, actually connect your track to the starting point so people can actually do laps. You don't want to just have it go from point A to point B and it just stops, unless it's like a special. There's certain circumstances where that's okay, but in most tracks that is not okay. So don't, you know, do that. Make sure you connect your track to the starting point so people can do laps. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this little helpful tips and tricks tutorial, whatever you want to call this, section of this showcase. And guys, again, go download the maps, go submit it, submit more maps in the showcase if you have maps that you want to get into a video. And I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see y'all next time. Later, guys.